Believe in yourself. If that's what you want to do, go ahead and push forward. And by practicing, you're going to make mistakes along the way. Believe in yourself and have confidence and move forward. Believe in your dreams and trust God.
If you like the barbering, do it because it pays and it's a good thing. You understand? Yeah, that's something you can rely on because people are going to always want to cut them hair. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a real good thing. Trust me. If you want to find a barbershop, you have to come to Mount Togo, right at the square Mount Togo. That's where my barbershop is. And it's Honduras Barber. Yeah. And once you come Mount Togo, you say, where Pony Barbershop there, you will find it.
Next week, we'll provide another highlight that will make an entrepreneur's night right. Until then, for Small Biz, Big Dreams, I'm Kevin Black.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winford Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Thanks for joining us for CVM News at Noon. It's Thursday, June 4, 2026. I'm Amoy Harriet. We begin with news that the newly appointed Chief Executive Officer of the National Reconstruction and Resilience Authority, NARRA, in responding to mounting criticism over his appointment, says the agency's success will be measured by its ability to deliver major recovery projects quickly, efficiently, and transparently. In a special interview with the Jamaica Information Service, Major General retired Anthony Anderson, who assumed the role just days ago on June 1, says NARRA's work must leave a lasting impact on Jamaica's development.
At the core of it is that we actually deliver at scale, with speed, transparently, efficiently, the projects that are given by the cabinet. So very rapidly, we're going to have to build out the organization and also get the systems in place that can properly manage in an automated and effective way, manage the program of projects.
Opposition spokesman on productivity, effectiveness and competitiveness, Senator Peter Bunting, is calling for greater investment in human capital to boost Jamaica's productivity and long-term economic growth. Speaking during Thursday's sitting of the House of Representatives, Bunting said the country must improve educational outcomes and workforce skills to drive higher living standards and economic performance.
Workers cannot sustainably earn more than the value they produce. Governments cannot sustainably spend more than the economy generates. Please do. Businesses cannot sustainably raise wages unless productivity rises.
And Mr. Bunting was speaking there on Wednesday in the House of Representatives. Meanwhile, Minister of Local Government and Community Development Desmond McKenzie says the Jamaica Fire Brigade is set to significantly improve its emergency response capabilities with the launch of a new communication-based dispatch system. McKenzie says the system will allow emergency calls to be transmitted to fire stations within seconds, helping firefighters respond more quickly to incidents.
The Jamaica Fire Brigade, Madam Speaker, will officially launch the emergency communication-based system in Waterford in St. Catherine. 24 firefighters were specially trained and graduated as emergency telecom operators in February of this year. The key feature of this is the system will alert and transmit emergency notification instantly. Madam Speaker, if you make a call within 64 seconds, that information will be transmitted instantly to the relevant fire stations, and the firefighters will be there in 60 seconds.
With Jamaica as the CARICOM lead on social dialogue and tripartism, Minister of Labour and Social Security, Pernell Charles Jr., says social dialogue remains one of the most effective tools for governments, employers and workers to strengthen labour governance and support sustainable economic development. Articulating the region's position on strengthening social dialogue and preparing Caribbean labour markets for emerging economic and technological change at the 114th International Labour Conference in Geneva, the minister presents that social dialogue is not merely a mechanism for consultation, it is an institution for nation building. Now, there is a sigh of relief in Granville, St. James, as the policeman who controversially shot and killed Latoya Bulgin was placed before the court and charged with murder. Akeem Orit has this CVM News follow-up.
Justice was served. That's the reaction from residents of Granville in St. James after the police constable who pulled the trigger in the fatal shooting of 45-year-old Latoya Bulgin was formally charged with murder. Constable Andrew Wilson was placed before the St. James Parish Court following an investigation conducted by the Independent Commission of Investigations (INDECOM). A file was submitted to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions for a ruling. The ruling was received by INDECOM on May 29 that Constable Wilson should be charged for the offense of murder. Councillor for the Granville Division, Michael Troop, who has since met with residents about the ruling, says some residents are still fearful.
We're not going to block any road. We're not going to do any marching. We're just going to sit and wait, but keep our meeting going. Because there are a lot of persons within Jamaica and the Granville space are scared of the police right now. So we're trying to keep them calm and tell them that once you are in the right order, once you're on the side of the law, police can't hurt you.
The councillor says he has since encouraged the residents to desist from staging demonstrations and await the verdict from the court. Mr. Troop says his trust lies in the justice system for the police constable to face the full extent of the penalties available under law.
The evidence is there, and we trust the justice system. So, we trust the justice. But I will wish for him to lock up until the case finished.
The prompt collection and examination of video evidence during INDECOM's independent investigation assisted in establishing an objective understanding of the fatal shooting. Constable Wilson, whose next court date is scheduled for June 16, was not granted bail. Reporting for CVM News, I'm Akeem Art.
Jamaica is pushing to strengthen sustainable ocean governance and expand its blue economy while advocating for greater support for small island developing states. That's according to Minister with portfolio responsibilities for water, environment, climate change and the blue and green economies, Matthew Samuda. Speaking at the Island States Ocean Summit in Japan, Minister Samuda highlighted efforts to protect marine resources, boost climate resilience and promote sustainable economic growth.
Investments are critical in the blue carbon market for economic growth of SIDS, such as Jamaica. By participating in global carbon markets, SIDS can attract investment while at the same time contribute to global emissions reduction targets. Accordingly, Jamaica calls for increased financing, technology transfer, capacity building, and technical support to assist SIDS in strengthening ocean governance and promoting the sustainable development of the blue economy.
It's time now for a break. Stay with us, more when we come back.
Enjoy peace of mind in knowing that your hard-earned money is protected by the JDIC. That's right, the JDIC through the Deposit Insurance Scheme guarantees up to $1.2 million of your deposits in commercial banks, merchant banks, and building societies. This means your deposits, such as your savings and checking accounts, are covered. Rest easy, knowing that your deposits are secure. Your deposits, always protected. For more information, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at JDICJAM, or visit our website at www.jdic.org.
JDIC, protecting deposits for you and me.
Delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins, and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yes. Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
Watagwan. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m., 1:30 p.m., and 10 p.m. on CVM TV.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Welcome back to CVM News at Noon. Now, the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, ECJ, has started consultations on proposed electoral boundary changes following Portmore's elevation to parish status. The review is aimed at ensuring constituency boundaries comply with the Constitution, which requires that constituencies don't cross parish lines. The proposed changes would affect 4 St. Catherine constituencies. Now, the exercise has reignited political debate, with the government maintaining the process is necessary to implement Portmore's new status, while the opposition continues to raise concerns about the broader implications of the realignment. Joining us now is Director of Elections, Glasspool Brown. Good afternoon, Mr. Brown.
Hi, good afternoon to you and your listeners and viewers.
What stage has the ECJ reached in the process of realigning electoral boundaries for the new parish of Portmore?
We were tasked with our responsibility, that is the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, by the Boundaries Committee of Parliament. And we have started work. We have done some field work in terms of using our GIS department to do some field work. But we are now at the stage, as you had said earlier on, we have set up what is known as a Parish Boundaries Forum, and also what is known as a Parish Boundary Advisory Committee. So we have started that work, that in terms of the consultation with critical stakeholders, both persons from Portmore and the wider St. Catherine, and to a certain extent to any interested party within Jamaica who want to make a contribution. So these different layers have been established: the PBF, the Parish Boundary Forum, and the Parish Boundary Advisory Committee, so as for the process to be as transparent as possible. So to rule out any sort of gerrymandering in terms of signing off on constituency boundaries, more so in terms of Portmore and some adjustment as it relates to St. Catherine.
What exactly are those adjustments? What are the changes being proposed, and which constituencies, to be exact, will be affected?
What happened, as I've already said, the Constitution does not allow constituencies to go across parish boundaries. So what will happen is that, for example, Portmore becomes a new parish, so we have to actually establish the constituencies within Portmore. What exists in Portmore is constituencies known as St. Catherine East Central, St. Catherine South, St. Catherine Southeast. So those names would have to go through the process of realigning the constituency within the parish. So you won't have a St. Catherine South again and a St. Catherine East Central. We'll have what is known as a Portmore, whatever we decide on later on. So you'll have to configure the constituencies for the new Portmore parish. A part of some of the polling divisions that were in the constituencies that are now part of Portmore because of the new boundary for St. Catherine and the boundary that has been outlined for Portmore. So there's a certain area that is now over into St. Catherine, and those have to be linked to a particular constituency. So that's the work that we have started. We'll be undertaken over the couple of months. But what you'll have at the end of the day, you'll have a Portmore, for example, you might have a Portmore North, a Portmore South, or a Portmore Central, in terms of the naming of those constituencies.
Mr. Brown, since this conversation first started, there's been much concern around the political influence in this whole process. How exactly is the ECJ ensuring that the review process remains fair, it remains transparent and free from any political bias? The process is, as was said earlier on, is that with these committees and these forums that we have set up, the members of those forums, for example, the Parish Boundary Forum, the members are drawn from both political parties and also independent persons who want to make a submission to those committees. So that we have started to do it, not having a major political influence on it. The membership and the guidelines of the commission is clear. The membership are the members of parliament, councillors, caretakers, etc. So we have created these committees and these grouping with a broad membership, and the membership is drawn from across different political lines. No, Mr. Brown, you shared a while ago that the Constitution requires that constituency boundaries don't cross parish lines. Has it been challenging at all during this entire process being able to satisfy that requirement?
No, it is clear that it is clear. The boundary for the parish has been established. It's for us now to ensure that within the parish boundary, that the constituencies and the boundaries for the constituencies remain within those parishes. So that's how we go to that exercise. But at the end of the exercise, there will be no area of Portmore that will go, or any constituency in Portmore that will go across the St. Catherine boundary.
When exactly do you expect the ECJ to finalize its recommendations and submit them to the Parliamentary Boundaries Committee?
I think we have started the work. We will anticipate that sometime in 2027.
Oh, 2027, okay. I have to ask, what role do stakeholders, whether it be political representatives or even community members, play in the whole consultation process?
Well, we have set up this committee. We have a public parish boundaries advisory committee, and they will then embark on some level of consultation. And also, remember what we have said, that the stakeholders, the political stakeholders, are part of that committee. But that consultation will also take place with the wider community of Portmore, wider community of St. Catherine. If a person wants to make any submission, that opportunity will be there for anybody to so do.
And what should residents of Portmore and St. Catherine expect as the process moves forward?
Well, we'll keep the community updated. At the end of the day, we'll be embarking on a public education program so as to sensitize persons which constituency are now assigned to in terms of being on the voters list, etc. So a part of the exercise, and then more so when you have decided that well, we made a certain amount of decision, we will embark on a public relations and public education exercise.
But as for clarity, Mr. Brown, it is therefore a case where, for example, you have person A who used to vote in a constituency that was part of St. Catherine but was located in Portmore. That can now change. They'll now be voting in a different constituency. Is that the reality?
That's correct. You know, for example, the constituency of St. Catherine South and St. Catherine Southeast and St. Catherine East Central will no longer have those names. They become a Portmore. So it could be either Portmore West, Portmore East Central, or Portmore South. So then they'll be placed in no longer in a St. Catherine constituency, but in a Portmore constituency.
Okay, understood. All right, thank you so much. That was Glaspel Brown, who is Director of Elections at the ECJ. Thanks so much, as always, Mr. Brown.
Okay, good.
We go now to news overseas, where Israel has launched a wave of attacks in Gaza since Wednesday, killing at least 11 Palestinians. 5 were members of the same family. The series of strikes